Hello, welcome to the second video related to the year-end finance returns 2021. My name is Rosa Epson, I'm a finance volunteer helping with the returns. Okay, I'll do a screen share and have a look at the returns. So this is the second video and we'll be looking at these other tabs. So the first one we covered this return tab which covers the returns that everybody needs to complete. We'll now look at these other ones which you may need to use in different circumstances. Probably the best way to approach this is to go to this info tab here, which has a series of questions related to the circumstances in the return that you're doing, and it might identify other areas, these other tabs that you might need to complete. So that's probably the first approach. Right, I'll look at this grants tab. So you might need to do the grants tab if you have either started the year with a grant or you received one in year, or had some grant money at the start of the year. So when you get it, there's a number of different spaces for grants to be completed. But when you get it, we'll have added in any grants that you had outstanding at the start of the year. So the name of the grant and the amount that you had on the 1st of January. If you can then add in the information about for the year. So can you put in the details of what the grant is for, about whether you have the documentation, and as a clue, the answer should be yes. You may need it if you're selected for audit, and in a lot of circumstances, grant awarding bodies will want to see the proof of your spend. If you could then add in the amount that you received in the year, anything you spent, and anything that you got unspent that carried forward. If you receive new grants within the year, can you add those in with that information? Now, the total of these grants, your restricted grants, should match the restricted total on the main return down here. We've added in a little check figure to make sure that they do, and this one they currently don't. So let's add in the figures. So we didn't receive any more for this co-op granting year, but it was for a camp, and we spent that camp money, £500. So we have nothing out remaining on the grant for the year end. This now agrees with the figures on your front tab, so we know that's okay. So completing all the information about the grant, greatly appreciated. Thank you. And if you have got grants, you do need to complete this. Okay, the next tab is the consolidation bank accounts. Now you'll need to complete this if you have more than one bank account. If you just have one bank account, that's fine. You can just complete the details there. But if you have several, can you add those in? So the details of the account, name and sort code, balance at the start of the year, end of the year, and any changes. If you add all those in, it will give you a total for your bank balance at the 31st of December. And that is the figure that you should put in here on the main return. Okay. Reconciliation. This is the bank reconciliation, and it should be similar to the reconciliation that you're doing at least quarterly or ideally monthly. It's useful to bank reconciliation basically checks whether the transactions you've recorded in your account, your own records, matches the balance on your bank account. And if it doesn't, it's a useful way of picking out where things are not agreeing for some reason, whether it's frequently somebody hasn't banked a check, or you've forgotten some income, or you haven't written something in on your accounts. And this is a good way of just making sure that they're right at that point. But we need to have a reconciliation at the year end. And if they don't agree on the main accounts, you might need to come here and work out, check through your accounts if anything has not cleared. And if they're not, you adjust it here. So maybe you had a bank balance at the year end of £700, but you looking back, and actually that camp fee came in really, really late. So in fact, there was that had in fact was uncleared at the year end, and so your actual balance was much less, £200, and that will be the figure that you put on the return in here. So and that's really a very common reason why people's accounts don't balance. They've forgotten about transactions that happened late on in the year, such that they hadn't cleared the bank account at the 31st of December, or people have forgotten to bank checks or whatever. So that's that tab. This is the consolidation of accounting records. And you might use this if you are a district that has several accounts, separate. You run a separate set of accounts for your Elfins, Pioneers, and Venturers, or whatever. To say, and if you want, and if you do that, then fill it in with whatever the group name and their expenditure, the same headings as before, and it tots it up here. You don't need to use this. If you've got your own system for keeping records, that's absolutely fine. There's no need to fill this out. It's for your own help, really. And it can be useful if you've got lots of groups get in, then as you get each one in, you can add it in and make sure it balances, and then know that one's sorted. When you do complete this, these columns will populate. And you can then, they're the same order as the other one, so you can just cut and paste them across to the main district return. If you do cut and paste across, just make sure you copy the figures rather than just doing all. So you need to do a paste special. If you just do a straight copy and paste, you'll get the formula and it won't help you at all. Okay, so those are the main those additional tabs that you may need to look at. I think that's it. Otherwise, if you have any queries, please have a look. There's lots of information on the website. We're very happy to answer emails, have a chat, talk through any queries. Because it's an online document, we can see it as well. So if there's a bit that you're not sure about, we can go through that. Otherwise, just to say thank you very much. We really appreciate your help with the return, and please feel free to ask if you have any questions. All right, thanks very much. Bye.